All right, so yesterday we had the official reveal for the Wrathful Broly Part 2 LR, and this guy looks pretty good with his animations. I liked his kit overall, and I just want to talk about some of the things that I guess, just only a little worried about on what I hope to see when it comes to in-game performance and the future red zone, right? Of course, his details were officially tweeted out as well, so we got his actual like defensive stat, his link set. We know what defensive level he's going to be looking at. I think that's very, very important for this guy, especially with short content events being kind of the main focus right now. Is one of the big things I want to just kind of mention when it comes to this Broly. But again, we'll go ahead and see, and we'll just talk about like the movie bosses team in general too. I think, we know that the super easy A's for the STR Legendary Super Saiyan Broly, and then the EZA for the STR base from Broly is coming. So that's going to be really good. Like, this guy is getting his EZA, then again, the STR Legendary Super Saiyan Broly, he's getting a super EZA. So those are going to be two extra additions to this team. And, if all three of those characters, I think Ajo Broly himself or Tech Broly is going to be really good. Again, another Extreme Tech Broly, which I think he'll be a very good addition to the team overall. Like, the team could be looking very strong in the villain side, so that's going to be really nice to see. But again, let's go ahead and just talk about it. I mean, I think we'll take a look at the, well, I couldn't even like say my words right. We'll take a look at the replies first here. This is the like initial tweet made like right after I tweeted about the details. So let's take a look here. I think they cooked overall. Animations are top 2. Kit looks good. He'll probably be a festival battle killer and a good slot 2 unit. Good that he has a scouter, but sucks that he doesn't support. And yeah, I guess that's one thing. I got to bring up the details of this character here, which I should have already, but he doesn't have any supportive abilities. I don't really think that's the biggest deal though. I think that the characters that ideally will get the support will be the STR Broly potentially. But then, Super EZAs a lot of times do get some sort of supporting buffs, even if it's just critical hit chance. So STR Broly could be a character providing us a lot of that support. I think that would be very nice. For that support to be given to this Broly and then Frieza turn 1, I think that'll be really useful. Too much stuff going on. To build a mandatory to use him before judging. Yeah, he is a character. Again, he wants to receive about what 6 attacks, and he wants to do 8 attacks, or is it both A and both ends? Either way, the one thing I'm worried about him when it comes to his kit is that for every attack he receives, he'll get an additional attack that's a high chance to become a super up to 4 times. That is a lot, and that's pretty good. But he builds up by every attack performed. So what I'm worried about is, turn 1, he probably would be okay. After he attacks, he'll get, even if he gets it, like let's say in the Goku Black Monster fight is what I'm thinking of mainly. He gets hit by the AoE, he'll get the additional attack. He could do at least 2 attacks. So it's 100% of this built up. But then he'll lose 40% reduction the next turn. And it's like, well, you can't really put him in slot 1. And then, especially if the AoE is like at the back of the rotation. But ideally, even if he gets hit by it, he'll still do 3 attacks and he won't be fully built up here. And he does stack, but he needs to rely on these 50% chances to hit. I think it could be a little tricky. Now, I guess being fair, turn 3, he has the active skill, which does give him 60% defense, and the scouter, which is really good. And again, it could just be used from turn 3, so he should be pretty safe, all things considered, in turn 3 in short fights. Like, I'm not really too worried about that. Just something that could happen if you somehow feel like you need to save the active. The issue could be turn 1 though, because he's not going to do a lot of these attacks, but like on the second turn, he's going to be able to start getting a bunch of them off. Especially, you could consider he will be getting these additionals after he like attacks as well from the attacks he'll receive during that turn. So he should be fine, all things like considered, honestly, when you think about turn 2. And, he will be able to build up his own attack as well. It's mostly like that turn 1 defensive performance in these current fights. I mean, guard and 70% reduction do carry you a long way. But this guy just has 260% defense start of turn. It's very similar to the Frieza plus Gogeta card. And if you use the Frieza and Gogeta card, I would say it's safe to say they're a little weak turn 1, more than I would personally like, honestly. that's kind of the big thing about this character. I do wish that that character like had their defense instantly up, but that's the thing with this Broly, where it's like it could be a little troublesome, but it's not going to be a thing that's going to mean this guy like, oh, he's completely unrunnable in short content. Why tech? Yeah, there's a lot of tech characters. Seems extremely strong. Fan of his Kid 18 key garbage kit. I don't know. You just post the video and let people watch it first. Wait, yeah. I mean, I guess so. Let people watch the video first before saying it, but still. I mean, a lot of people on Twitter have already seen kind of the details, right? He's good for festivals, but who cares? I don't like his animations. I've seen like people not like the choice for some of the animations because there's a lot of different animations they could have chosen. And you know, there's like the giant like sphere he makes where he throws it down to Goku. And then that's how like the entire kind of ice land turns into like lava. There's a couple other things he does. People would have preferred Chile and Lemon weren't there and he did another attack, but I think they did a pretty good job with this guy in terms of like these kind of different animations he has that weren't in game, and there's still the potential chance for this guy to get another alarm based off the animations that weren't taken. So like, I don't know, in the future, like a God Vegeta versus Broly or a God Goku versus Broly dual Dokkan Fest, I think is still in the realm of possibility, because Broly from Wrath for Broly and even just like base from Broly still has quite a bit of things he can do. Like he's taking some things from basically from the Goku fight itself. So like some things that he has from the Vegeta fight, I think could still be used pretty nicely. The movie seems still lacking in superclass options. You have to run 3 superclass characters, but the one we have aren't very good. I mean, yeah, if you want Gogeta out turn 3, you do need to use 3 superclass options, but I think that the extreme class team's issue is less of Frieza. Like, it's more of the team not being that great, because the thing about Frieza is that I feel like he does really well in the Omega team, extremely good in the Omega team. It's just that I think the idea with Frieza is that you do use his taunt turn 1, then he's built up on turn 3, but then by that point all the other characters who maybe need to build up as well could safely build up with Frieza's taunt up. You know, Broly will still potentially get hit by AoEs in some situations. Broly will still be able to get a couple of his attacks off. He'll have the turn 3 active skill. Elorgona Frieza will still have 80% damage reduction up. He'll have some of his defense built up, right? STR Legendary Super Saiyan Broly and the STR base from Broly, whatever they do, they could eventually potentially get built up, right? Sorry, I had to like pause the recording and I went to do something. I forgot what I was saying exactly, but I think they're kind of pushing for an extreme class kind of section. But if we think about like STR Legendary Super Saiyan Broly, he's like a damage dealing god. I seen AGL Broly, man. Once he gets some attacks in, he could do some pretty nice damage himself. Again, we saw the gameplay that they posted, like the turn 3 gameplay after he received a few hits. Like I keep saying AGL Broly, but Wrath for Broly looks pretty good too. And I think the team overall, like Golden Frieza with his taunt up, does quite a bit of damage as well. So even if it's not like worrying about the super class kind of setup, I think this guy will still be really nice. But a lot of people are worried about Broly, and I don't know, I've seen a lot of people call Broly like not really like a nothing unit, but like a mid character, and I don't really understand. So I mean, we have Halbert's calculations right here, so we could see again, this is him fully built up. Start of turn, he's at 1.4 million defense right there, and I assume that's with like a defensive stack potentially. I guess I don't know for sure. It might not even have any defensive stacks, right? This is after he does 8 attacks without any stacks. Like he's looking pretty good here, and you know, once he starts stacking up, he gets quite a bit higher with defense, especially because he has all these additionals. He has 4 additionals built in. Then we have the hidden potential system super he could also get, which, you know, even at 55%, you give him an additional equipment and he does have that, right? So that's going to be really, really good. And again, he does get permanent defense phase 2 with every super attack he receives. So like, again, something in like Festival or even like Goku Black and Zamasu, like he will get some build up here, which will be very, very nice for this character in terms of his defensive abilities. And you see, again, the active skill you could just say for long fights, man, he's just looking very high in terms of his defense. And keep in mind, he's always gonna be guarding no matter what, even in festivals. So I think this character will be at his best in fights where he's able to have a little bit of leg room, but he should still be pretty decent in these short fights, especially if we consider him on the movie bosses team, where you have Frieza's active skill taunt that could allow him to build up a little easier. It's kind of the big thing I'm personally thinking about here. And I did make this tweet here. Well, I should talk about this first. So I did bring up that Wrathful Broly isn't great in the current meta. He's in the same situation that Frieza plus Gogeta are in, where it's like they have like this tool. For example, this character, ideally you would save the target skill for turn 3. I think that'd be really nice. But what probably ends up happening is in certain fights, you're going to have to use the target skill turn 1. Like, it doesn't happen to the Gogeta fight or the Gohan Goten and Trunks fight. This is like a kind of thinking about like Goku Black and Zamasu, I think. In those fights, these characters are going to be extremely good. For sure. But just in short fights in general, I think having that the turn 1 build-up could be a little dangerous depending on where you have to place this character and things like that, right? So I think that's why it's like the same issues people have with this Golden Frieza and Gogeta are going to be a little apparent in this Broly in that first specific turn. But once this guy is able to receive all of his attacks, once Broly is able to receive his attacks and then get a bunch of his own attacks off, then it's like, oh, they're going to be looking really good defensively. And then you have this guy's target skill on top of that. Like, once a team, especially with how much damage this guy could do, STR Broly potentially, like, we're going to be looking really good in terms of this team actually moving forward as well. Because one of the issues this team had was, of course, damage. And I've always said that this team's issue was that it has the sustainability, but you need to be able to push the team forward, or else eventually you will get caught with how these short passive kind of characters are like, right? And now that we're getting these options to allow us to do that, I think it'll be a little easier in these fights, but it's still a situation where like a 4-phase kind of traditional quote unquote fight will be the best for this. And I was like, people were like, you don't think Frieza and Gogeta aren't good in this meta, but that's not true. They are pretty good. They're just not like, I mean, I say they're not like pretty good, but they kind of are. It's like I think of, I haven't actually ranked them in a tier list yet. I don't know where I would place them if I would do a tier list with them, but they're in the top 10 very easily, closer to top 5. But the more I use this character, the more I'm like, I do like the Worldwide Celebration or the Global Dokkan Campaign characters more, just because of their design. I think it's that turn 1 Frieza that's like, a little scary, and even on turn 3 it could be a little bit of an issue, because at that point bosses could be built up a little, but it should be for the most part okay with this Golden Frieza. And that's why I would still see he's a very, very good, strong character. I just feel like most characters aren't perfect in every situation anyways, and that it's okay that I like Broly as a stacking character that wants to receive a lot of super attacks, that wants to do a lot of super attacks himself. Is not going to be good in the shorter kind of fights ever. But I see people saying Broly's bad or anything, and I don't understand it. I think Broly's still just a very good character overall. And Rody was like, didn't you say yourself he's not great? That's not what I said. Well, that is okay, that is what I said, but I didn't say that he's not good, right? Does nothing right now, can't hang the hardest fight, and does no damage. I don't think this is necessarily true either, but I would say that clip that's being provided from the community fest was in a pretty weak event where Broly was able to pretty freely build up, and he does multiple supers. So that is like kind of a juiced up quote unquote kind of version of Broly that you may not see as often in typical fights. But he's a festival battle killer, the one event that they only that they must have added only one mission for 6 months after his release. That must be in his top 5. I would say I don't think this Broly would be a character that I would put in the top 5 based off details, but I need to use this guy at the end of the day. I need to see gameplay of him in game. I want to see like how he interacts with other characters more so on this new team. You know, again, this guy's still on like a pure Saiyan setup. This guy is still like, let's take a look at the teams he's on. He has his own exploding rage team, which sucks right now. I mean, you could use him with grade 8 power. That could be an interesting setup. Super bosses. I think this guy will be a nice little addition to super bosses as well. I mean, what's his HP stat? 21k HP already. And tech characters, I guess, to be fair, tech characters get only 4600 to HP specifically, but I mean, this guy is still at a really nice HP level for that movie bosses team. No, yeah, 27,000 HP at rainbow level, and even at 55%, that is almost 24k HP. I mean, that's pretty good, honestly, for HP on the super bosses team. I think this guy will be nice for the super bosses team as well. Another thing is that team has both of the leaders are kind of built-in slot 1 characters. You do have that with the Frieza team as well, but like this Broly will add just, I think the team needs more HP, super bosses, and damage. And you know, that super bosses team will start to look pretty nice now. With this guy as another addition, just more addition to this teams will be nice. But yeah, anyways, let me know what you guys are thinking about this Broly, man. Again, you don't really see a lot of the comments here necessarily where people are calling them mid. I mean, Alan Dokkan probably, right? But at the end of the day, you know, for like actual rankings, I will always wait for in-game kind of data. I also do think that Broly and Goku plus Gogeta are both good characters, so excited to kind of try them out together. Thanks y'all for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.